Hey buddy, Frank Van Dyke, your favorite farmer's insurance agent here. Alright, here's how we're going to do this. Since I can't track you down, I bought this little webcam and we're going to do it this way because I've got some concerns for you. And this may suck, but hey, that's your fault for not coming to the office. So we'll make it work, alright? Part of the attachment on this email is going to be an FFR. And so take a look at that, kind of walk through me when you get a chance. First page is FFR. Second page is going to be what we think we know about you guys, so just confirm your date of birth and everything on there. Next page is going to be the cars. We've got 6 cars covered right now through your farmer's policy. The one for your son Kevin through Bristol West, you know, we own Bristol West now. At the time we didn't, and I think I brokered that out with somebody. So if you can find information on that policy number, who the broker's name is on that, let me know. I'll do a broker record change and we'll get that in there so I can have everything in your household and I can review everything at once. Plus at some point it probably makes sense to move Kevin. I forget what the reason was, if he had some nasties on his record or what, but it probably makes sense to move him back to farmers because usually the rates are going to be less unless you just want him as a separate policy. I don't know. Again, stuff we need to talk about. Okay. Your coverages are okay, but they're across the board. The 6 cars have got, you know, different variations of coverage. As you'll see on there, bodily injury, physical damage. Some of the cars got 30, 60, 25. Some of the cars got 50, 150. That means if you're in an accident, you're found to be at fault, it's going to pay the other guy. Pain and suffering, loss of wages, medical bills, etc. up into that limit for only one person. So on these first 3, only up to $30,000, up to $60,000 for that whole accident. Only one person. A person can only have $30,000. Okay. Then the third part of that, $25,000 in this case, is going to be the physical damage. Again, some of the cars have $25,000, some of them have $50,000. And then your uninsured motorist, that's when the other guy is at fault. He either has no insurance or he's got lousy coverage, 1530 state minimum. That's going to cover to fix you, you know, your medical bills, that sort of thing, whoever else is in the car, up to those limits. Again, the first 3 cars, we've got it mirrored what your bodily injury is, and the second 3 cars have them at the higher limits. The property damage C2 coverage, that just means if you're involved with an uninsured motorist, that coverage will pay your deductible so you don't have to worry about having to come out of pocket to get your car fixed, right? First 3 cars, comprehensive deductibles across the board, you know, 2 of them at $500, 1 of them at $1,500. That's going to be the vehicle is legally parked, something happens, gets stolen, someone steals a stereo, ball through the window, you know, steals your wheels, whatever is going on. You're going to pay the first part of that. Farmers will pay the balance. I like to keep those limits low because that's where most of the claims come from, and there's no penalty for filing those. Versus on your collision, if you file a claim over $750 in California, it's going to put a point on your record for 3 years and 60 days. So obviously that's going to affect your insurance for a while. My other concern is that the first 3 cars have both comp and collision. The next one, whoa, that's scary. Why is the thing so close? Just kidding. Like I said, you're the guinea pig, buddy. The next 3 cars have collision but no comp. So I don't know if we need to change that or what you want to do on that. Okay, next line. One car, the 06 truck and the 08 Nissan have glass buyback deductible. That means that if you get a rock chip or anything, they'll fix those for free. If you need to replace a whole windshield, now it's going to drop it down where you only got to pay $100 and you get a new windshield, versus normally that would fall under a comprehensive claim. You've got towing and roadside on a couple of the cars. Looks like 4 of the 5 cars, so I'm not sure why we don't have those on all 6 cars. And then you got additional equipment on all 6 cars. That's a free coverage Farmers gives you. Just basically reminds us that we got to talk about anything, because if you had a total loss, they're going to book that car out based on just what the average one is. If you upgraded the wheels, stereo, what have you in there, Farmers is going to give you the first grand for free, and then if you want more coverage than that, then we got to schedule it and pay for it. Okay. Next thing is the discounts and things on there. My concern is, again, after talking to you today, it sounds like we need to have Colleen on the Saturn. I'm showing you as the only one rated. I know she had a nasty back some years ago, I think like 6 years ago now. So I think that was the reason for keeping her off of there. But that should have seasoned enough. They really like to see 7, but it will dilute over time. So we're probably going to be okay. You know, I'll be honest, it's probably going to raise your rates a little bit. But we need to get her on there because I think we've gotten her excluded. That could cause some problems if there's an accident on there, or even trying to say that she's a permissive user when she's in the household. They used to let us get away with that in the past, a few years ago. Starting this year, they've really cracked down on you know, especially teenagers. If there's a teenager driving in the house, they want them on the policy. Otherwise, there's a good chance that claim's not going to get taken care of. So effective today, we're going to put Colleen back in the house. That Saturn is listed as high performance. I'm going to have to do a little juggling and see where she's going to fit in there, because once she's in the house, she can drive whatever car, it doesn't matter. So she may be rated on one of the other ones, but you know, the Saturn may not be the best one for her. Okay, and then like I said, our goal would be to bring back your son in the household so we can get everything done for you. The other thing I'd like to look at, I don't know if you're got this nasty thing called a budget like the rest of us, but you know, I'd like to see you start looking at coming up on your coverages to 100, 300, 100. That's going to give you substantially more coverage, and then the same thing on your uninsured motorist. A third of the state is still uninsured. So I'd like you to see if, about coming up with those. Without Colleen on the policy, I think the annual difference to raise all 6 cars was going to be a little under $300. With her, that may be a little higher. I'll have to change that, but let me know if that's something you can do. I make 10% of your policy, so of the $300, I make $30. So I'm not doing it to make myself rich. I'm doing it because it's the right thing for you and your family, and I want to make sure that you guys are covered if something happens to you. Okay, the house looks good. You got enough to rebuild it. Reconstruction cost looks good in there. You got $500,000 for your personal liability. That goes with you worldwide. You got plenty of coverage for personal property. One thing, if I haven't told you this 16 times already, is grab a video recorder, go around your house, walk and talk. Not so much that Farmers is going to try and screw you if you've got a claim. They're usually real fair. That's the reason why I'm with Farmers. But you're going to end up hurting yourself, because I bet today, with the sunshine and the birds singing, you're not going to be able to give me a list of everything that you have in your house. So imagine if you just had a fire or a major break-in or something. I just had a client in here yesterday. Somebody went and stole some of her jewelry, and she's trying to figure out what's gone. There's no clue. You know, I remember this, da, da, da. So that's going to prevent it. So just roll around with a video recorder. I got an Acer computer here. You know, I bought it around May, summer, whatever, 2010. I paid a couple grand for it. And if you have anything that's, you know, substantially different than your neighbors, we got to talk about that. Maybe look at getting a schedule. I got a guy's got a $50,000 book collection. One of my clients has like a $400 and some $1,000 Star Wars collection. You know, those things we got to see if the base policy is going to cover them or anything else. Jewelry on your policy, typically it's $1,000 for any one item, up to $2,500 for the total loss. So, you know, if you got expensive rings, watches, things like that, stuff we need to talk about. And you got a $5,000 deductible on your home right now, and then all the discounts look appropriate for you on that. Life insurance, you got $500,000. Started out as a 10-year term back in 2005. So you know what that means. It's coming up. A couple years from now, you will be without life insurance. So we need to look at doing something for you on that. You can probably purchase another term policy. You'd qualify, you know, for another 10 or 20-year term. So you got to kind of look at that. Last time you were rated as standard, so it's going to depend on, you know, where you are relative to 10 years ago. If you think you're about the same, probably going to be standard. If you think you're better health than that, maybe we can get you a lower rating. If you want to do $500,000 again, a 10-year term, $149 a month. For 20-year term, $295. At some point, though, you got to look at term as, it's called a term trap. You know, I always say it's like wetting a bed. Feels good for a minute, and then sooner or later you got to get up and deal with the problem. Because even if you got a 10-year term, you know, you're going to be in the same thing 10 years down the road. Now you're 61. It's going to be a little harder to qualify for life insurance, and if you go for 20 years, now you're 71. You know, it's going to be real tough. So what most people start doing around our age is that they're looking at getting permanent protection. Term, hopefully you're going to outlive that policy. permanent protection that's guaranteed. Sooner or later, if you didn't get this newsflash, we're all going to die. So either when you die, your beneficiary is going to get paid on that, or after about 10 years of having a permanent policy because they have cash value in them, you could cancel that policy and get every dollar you paid into it, or along the way you could take a loan against the policy as well and get most of your money back out, 75% of what you have in cash value in it. So it's a good option. A lot of people use the permanent life insurance to help fund retirement or college funding or whatever. I mean, it's a loan, it's your money, you can take it out. 3 days later, you got it, and you can do whatever the heck you want. So let's look at talking about that. One of the nice things is prior to your term expiring here in a couple of years, you can convert any or all of that into permanent protection without a medical requirements. So even if, heaven forbid, a client gets cancer along the way, once they have a term, they can still get permanent insurance with Farmers because it's going to go on how they were rated back when that policy was first issued. So you can take a full $500,000 right now and convert that to term. I'm sorry, permanent, or you could do as little as $50,000 and then $1,000 increments from there. At your age, to do $100,000 in permanent, just to give you an idea, that's going to be about $178 a month. Again, a lot different from the term policies, but term is like renting a house. Once it's done, you walk away from your lease, you really have nothing. And permanent is going to be like owning that house. So it gives you a lot more options, a lot more flexibility in it. So again, we need to address something, either applying for another term or start looking at fighting off some of this and converting to permanent. All right, my friend, I think that's what I've got for you. Sorry, this is a different way than we do it, but I'll try it. We're buds too, so give me your feedback on this. Does it really totally suck and I need to just keep pestering the hell out of you to get you in here in the office? Or is this maybe a way to do it for you and some other clients that are super busy, and at least we can have that conversation. So I've been thinking about you. I have your file sitting right here. Like I said, I just bought this little webcam the other night because I'm thinking, man, if Colleen's, I couldn't remember if she had another car or not, but I'm thinking, gosh, if we had an accident and she was excluded from that, that's going to suck. So thank God this one was a different situation, so hopefully that's going to get covered and everything's going to be smooth with that, but we'll make sure we add Colleen to the policy right away. All right, talk to you soon. Give me your feedback, call me, shoot me an email, reply to this, let me know at least that you got this, and we'll go from there. Thanks for your business as always. I appreciate it, buddy.